Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Game Managers Podcast, where we talk Alabama and Auburn and SEC football every week. My name is Nick Norris. I am a sports writer for a number of websites, publications. With me, as always, are my good friends, Auburn fan Justin Knight.
Hello, everybody.
And Alabama fan Aaron Patterson.
Hello.
LSU is our national champions, guys. What do you think?
Way to go, LSU.
Way to go, LSU, says Justin.
Get on them.
Yep, way to go.
Yep. Well, we're going to talk about that game, break it down in a little bonus episode here. None of our usual segments, because this is just going to be a short one, and then we'll do our regular episode Saturday, which will be our awards show, the TGMEs, which I can't wait for. But in the news, Auburn is going to travel to Tuscaloosa tomorrow night to play a good old basketball game, a friendly match, if you don't mind me saying. Justin, how you feel?
Well, of course I'm nervous. I mean, you never know what could happen. It's going to be a close game. So if we get a team effort tomorrow night, Auburn should win, but you never know.
Well, we will keep an eye on that one. The AP poll, the final one, came out today. We had Alabama at number 8, Auburn at 14, and guys, Texas is back, ranked number 25, snuck back in there the last second.
Okay. Was Texas A&M ranked? Probably not.
No, I don't know.
But
Yeah.
Texas was. Okay.
Yeah, Texas
But
was.
A&M won their bowl game.
Yeah, well, they're not Texas, are they?
No, apparently
Texas
not.
won too, but it's because they beat Utah. That's
Utah,
why
and they
ranked them.
whipped them.
Yeah, so
A Utah team that didn't play anybody and got whipped by everybody they did play.
Texas is
Yeah.
back, Aaron. I
Yeah,
don't think
okay.
you heard that right.
Yeah, they're back. You're
LSU
Aaron, you
1,
didn't hear
Clemson
that.
2, Ohio State 3, Georgia at 4, Oregon 5, Florida
Boo.
6, Oklahoma 7, Alabama 8, Penn State 9. Some news coming out of Penn State today as well. Getting in trouble for a little hazing, it seems. And by little, I mean
Shocker.
a lot. So,
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Scroll
Not
back up.
surprised.
I want to see that ranking.
so number 10, Minnesota. That rounds out your top 10. And Auburn 14. And then Texas right there at the very bottom.
Clemson 2, Ohio State 3, Georgia's still 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oregon was 5, Florida 6. Whatever.
Yeah, but, that's the AP poll. Also some news. Auburn has hired an offensive line coach.
Yes.
His name is slipping me. I need to look it up. Somebody I hadn't heard of ever.
Yeah, me too. He won the Broyles Award, though, for... What is that? Is that like O-line coach of the year or something like that? I don't
Jack
know what it
Bicknell
is.
Jr. Is his name.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. I mean, better than the last coach we had. Jeez.
You disappointed they didn't get Cole Kubelik?
Yeah. But, we'll see what happens with this. I mean, anybody was better than our last guy. I mean, you saw our O-line. They sucked.
I feel like they.
but-
I feel like they probably reach out to Cole. I think that
Probably.
that maybe he's good with what he's doing right now, for the time
Yeah.
being. He seems
And
to
I
really
think-
enjoy it.
Yeah. And hopefully with Chad Morse, OC, he'll kind of help bring in some top O-line prospects. So, and heck, I think we're recruiting or got a commit from a tight end that's like 6'4", 250. So that's kind of what Chad Morse likes, those big tight ends. He had his top one at Arkansas, so I'd like to use the tight end again.
It was a bad week for Houston as well. Did y'all hear all the news coming out of Houston the last 3 days?
Sure was.
So,
I heard their quarterback's transferring.
yeah. So the Texans lost to the Chiefs in the divisionals. University of Houston quarterback De'Aaron King has entered the transfer portal. And it's going to be interesting where he ends up. And then, of course, all the fiasco with the Astros and their sign-stealing scandal. So,
Yeah, they
Astros
should have their World Series stripped.
Yeah, well,
Them
they're
and the
going
Red
to.
Sox both.
They'll be able to keep the World Series, according to the MLB.
Boo.
So the Astros GM.
Well, did you see? Did you see the Red Sox coach was fired too, and he did it with the Red Sox and the Astros.
Did he get fired? I saw earlier. They were still investigating him, but
yeah, they already fired him.
So the GM Jeff Lanau and manager AJ Hinch, they were first suspended for a year by the MLB. Then the Astros owner just came out and fired them for stealing signs in the World Series. Alex Cora, manager of the Red Sox, was with the Astros at the time. He was under investigation. Justin said he was fired today, apparently, and for doing the same thing with the Red Sox last year. So I think he's going to have some kind of bigger punishment on top of being fired by the MLB too, if it hasn't been laid out already.
Yeah, I mean, could get banned. I mean, you never know. Something like this.
Yep, he was fired.
There hasn't been something this big a deal in the MLB for a long time, so.
Yeah, so they're trying to make an example out of him.
Yeah, but really, I mean, the Astros managers in their case, I mean, it's just a year suspension, it's just a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
And the Astros, I mean, they should have stripped the titles.
In other news, after the national championship, Odell Beckham Jr. handed out some big wads of cash to LSU junior wide receivers Justin Jefferson and Jonte Kirkland that's a big NCAA no-no. Orgeron said he knew nothing about it, and LSU, one of their got upper heads there, he said that. What are you laughing at?
I'm pretty sure Justin just ripped a fat one.
Justin?
I'm sitting in my chair and it's squeaking.
It sounded like you just ripped one, dude.
Well, my phone's sitting on my leg, so my chair is squeaking when I move.
I'm just gonna insert like a big fart noise. It's like nobody's gonna know what's happening now.
See, you hear that?
Anyway,
Yeah,
before I was rudely interrupted by Justin's behind. Anyways, do y'all think the NCAA is gonna look into this?
Absolutely.
It's on video.
Yeah.
They have video of it.
But see, did they also say it was fake money?
So that's what I was saying was a LSU, one of the upper ups there. He said without giving his name away that it was fake money.
What do you mean without giving his name away? Why would he give
anonymous
his name away?
source, I think, is what it was.
So that means the money was real.
Money was real. You can watch the video until the money was real. Both those guys are probably going to the NFL, so I feel like the NCAA may just look over this one, but it's also the NCAA, so I'm not putting it past them.
Highly doubt it.
Yeah. Our Capital One Bowl mania. What'd you say, Justin?
I was saying no, and then they'd probably take away LSU's national championship.
Yeah, probably for the NCAA the way they are. Capital One Bowl Mania we did for the Saucy Lamb Fan Club. We got the final results. Yours truly finished number 1. Texas is back. That's Aaron. And Roll Tide Anyway. Tied for second there. Jones and ESPN Fan 411 right behind them. Wesley's Booby Trap LLC.com follows with 27 points. Or 26 points, sorry. He is tied with Jay Bird, that's our own Justin Knight. And then ESPN 309 and 990 close out the bottom there. So thank you to everyone that played with us. I enjoyed it, and we're going to get some March Madness going here in the spring as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's enough of the news and stuff. How about we get into this game, talk about it, since that's what we're here to do.
Alrighty.
Well, LSU just spanked the defending national champions and snapped Clemson's 29-game winning streak in New Orleans, just down the road from home. Our Facebook poll had 87% of our voters picked LSU to win, and they did not disappoint. 42-25, the final score there. What did you guys think of this game initially?
Initially, I thought, well, after the first play, I thought LSU definitely had it, and then it looked like, just because that was a poor play call, coming out with a trick play, in my opinion. But yeah, after that first play, I was like, ooh, this might get ugly quick. And then all of a sudden, Clemson came to play. Is what it looked like, and I thought it was going to be a very good game, which it was until the second half, and then it was not so pretty.
Well, I'll tell you this: I don't think Clemson believed they could win this game from the get-go. The way that they came out and they ran that little trick play, that to me said we can't win this game straight up. We can't just play football and win. And even at halftime, and I know that LSU scored right before halftime, but Dabo sounded so defeated. He didn't sound like his normal optimistic self at all.
Yeah.
Is that the feeling you got as well, Justin?
Yeah, but I tell you what a great defensive start they had, and I want to give a shout out to Kevin Steele because Venables used the same defensive scheme that he did, the 3-1-7, and he went away from it later in the game, and you saw what happened. So a little shout out to Kevin Steele there.
Oh yeah,
but
both defenses came to play. I was very impressed, especially in the first half with both defenses.
Yeah. I don't know. Really, my takeaway from the game is just how disappointed I was in Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he was awful. I know he didn't have any turnovers. I mean, well, he had the fumble. He didn't have
lost
any
that fumble.
interceptions.
That was a turnover.
Yeah, he didn't have any interceptions, but
he also didn't have any passing touchdowns either.
No, he just had the one rushing touchdown, but golly, that was rough. Now, they had the one they took away, which I thought was BS. That was not offensive pass interference. But and I tell you, I'm gonna go ahead and say this too: the targeting rules have to be changed because I've never been more pissed off in a game, and I don't even care who won the game, but to see a guy like that who's been all over the field and's had a heck of a game, and he makes a great clean tackle, and they throw him out of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been more pissed off. I didn't want to watch the rest of the game. I was so mad.
His name escapes me. I can't remember, but 47 was his number, and he came to play. That's what he has that old, that more old school football mentality, and he wanted to hit some people. And
the NCAA is ruining everything. The fact that I don't understand why they can't just have the 15-yard penalty, and just what's the point of throwing him out? There's no intent behind it, and he didn't even do anything. His helmet was lowered. He didn't even have head-to-head contact. So just stuff like that really pissing me off as ruining football.
No, I agree. I think it should just be the 15-yard penalty because, to me, yes, it's more dangerous than a face mask, but not by as much as people might think. Because if you pull somebody's face mask hard enough, you can literally snap somebody's neck.
I'd rather you run at me as hard as you can and put your head down and try and hit me in the head rather than you rip my head off.
Really,
with a face mask.
Yeah.
So I mean, of course that pretty much changed that. Whatever hopes Clemson had at that point, I mean, it was all gone with that. I don't really know what else to say about that, but they need to change it because it's BS.
Well,
but yeah, my big takeaway was Trevor Lawrence was awful.
Well, going back to Trevor Lawrence, 18 for 37, 234 yards. He overthrew 12 receivers on defense. He overthrew 12 receivers. I have on defense here in my notes because I was going to say I feel like a lot of that should be on to the LSU's defense because there's no way he just overthrows the receivers 12 times. I feel like at least some of those times the receivers wasn't where they were supposed to be because of those LSU defenders.
Oh yeah.
Now Trevor should be aware of that, but sometimes you can't control that. Sometimes they'll block you in between when the ball leaves your arm. So
I still just can't believe. Derek Stingley Jr., true freshman cornerback for LSU, did not win SEC Freshman Player of the Year. And the fact Bo Nix won it over him blows my mind.
Yeah.
Because he was on the first-team All-American, the only freshman on there, yet he wasn't SEC Freshman of the Year. It makes absolutely no sense. So I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. Everything's offensive-oriented. All the awards are.
Apparently.
Unless it says defensive, you ain't getting a defensive
guy.
Yeah. Well, going back to Trevor Lawrence, sorry, I got some more stuff here. So his QBR was 38.1. That's the second worst of his career, and the only one worse was the Syracuse game that last year he got injured and pulled from. So this was basically his worst game. But he's had two bad games. He didn't play well against Ohio State. He got it a little more in gear in the second half, but
Yeah.
I'd still consider that a bad game for Trevor Lawrence. Did y'all hear what who Stephen A. Smith, who he reminded him of?
No.
He said that Trevor Lawrence reminded him of Eli Manning. So he didn't buy into all the hype.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. And before the
I
game,
don't know about.
we were watching ESPN.
I
There's
think
a
he's
lot of
better than Eli Manning, but
yeah, no, I agree.
the same kind of deal. Yeah.
Yeah. But everybody on TV before the game was talking about how he was the greatest college quarterback of all time. He could still make that happen, but
he can't.
right now, no, not even. He's not even the greatest quarterback at Clemson. I mean, I'd take Deshaun Watson over him any day. That's just me. I understand the argument for him, but my personal opinion.
He's got a lot to prove next season. I mean, of course, if he comes out and has an incredible season, wins the Heisman, then you can make some arguments for him being a great college quarterback. But I don't know why people are already saying
he could have a Joe Burrow
greatest
season next year and still won't be the greatest college quarterback to ever play.
Not the greatest ever, but he'd be considered a top quarterback to play in college football.
Yeah, obviously.
He wouldn't be the greatest. He'll never.
Yeah.
No.
After the way he ended the year, he'll never be in that conversation.
No.
No matter what he does next year.
If you take away, and I don't want to take anything away from Trevor Lawrence, but if you take away that Alabama national championship game last year, what's the narrative on Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah,
I mean, you take away that one game, and he goes from the greatest quarterback of all time to a solid quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think maybe just like sort of how Alabama fans got a little too excited over Tua after the national championship, and they made him expectations that he couldn't realistically live up to. I think that's kind of the same thing for Trevor Lawrence. I think we get a little too excited for these guys, and then when they don't play a perfect game every week, we want to change our mind from them being the best quarterback of all time to just another quarterback or whatever. I think we get a little too excited on that.
I think he'll bounce back though, because he's a competitor, and he's got. Of course, we all know he's got great talent and skill. So.
Oh, absolutely.
But, so it'll be interesting between him and Justin Fields, who will have the better season next year.
Yeah, no, and I think that Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback than Justin Fields, and I think that if I had to pick somebody to win the Heisman right now, it'd be him. But I'm interested to see what other names pop up, kind of like how Joe Burrow did this past year.
I don't know if there'll be another person like that next year.
No, there won't be another one for a long time, presumably. But
there's usually one that just pops up, but it's not usually. It's not usually one that
has arguably the greatest season.
Yeah, it's not one with the greatest season that has no contention for the Heisman. Yeah. It's usually like a third place. Yeah.
So the game was tied at 7 at the end of the first quarter after Lawrence's rushing touchdown and then a 52-yard bomb from Burrow to Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is so good, by the way.
Very good.
Well, let's not forget about Justin Jefferson either.
Yeah, both
it's
of
like
those
both
guys
of them switched. Yeah, Justin Jefferson had a great game in the semis, and then Chase in this game.
So LSU scored again, and then again right before the half. That's when we heard from Dabo. It sounded like he had already been beaten. Then the second half, it was all LSU. So I've got some stats here. For Joe Burrow, 31-49, 463 yards, 5 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, 221 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. And then Jefferson, 109 yards receiving. These guys literally blew my mind. Here's something. What about so Clemson scored to bring the score to it was 23-28. And then they went for 2. What did you guys think about that? I thought that was a little early to be going for 2. You're only down by 5 points.
Well,
go for 1, you're only down by 4.
It worked, so I didn't mind it.
I don't even remember that because by that point I'm pretty sure I was starting to tune out. But I've always been a fan of, if it was necessary, to go for 2 while you can and have time to recover if you miss it. But I don't really understand why guys scored 2 and 3 times and don't go for 2 and then put it all on the line with 2 seconds left. You score and then you have to go for 2.
Yeah.
And you have to get it to win or tie or whatever.
So. They got it. They got the 2-point conversion, and they brought it within 3 points, 25-28. But I just thought it was a little early for something like that. I don't know. It was start of third quarter.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I don't recall the situation that well because I was already starting to tune it out. But
Yeah, I think it made sense.
yeah, I probably would agree with it.
Well, there's a lot of people
I think-
that would agree with it because of those 2 points. The total score was brought to 67, and the over/under for this game was 67 points. So, had he not done that, we would have been 1 point off. So,
I tell you what, a big moment was though, when, of course, Clemson got the 2-point conversion, LSU got the ball back, and then it was a 3rd down, and Joe Burrow was throwing a little slant route, and Turner, 24 for Clemson, could have easily had an interception, and he dropped it, and that would have he could have taken it to the house. That would have changed everything. I think if he would have taken that to the house, Clemson wins.
I don't know about wins, but
Because
would
that would have
kept them in
changed
the game
all
a
the
little more than what they were.
Because that would have changed all the momentum in the game. They would have been up 32-28. I think it would have shifted momentum huge. So just little plays like that you never really think about. But
Well, they had the momentum though. They were up 17-7. So I don't know.
Well-
you never can tell how a game. There's always those what ifs, but I think
That's what I'm
LSU
saying, the
came to
momentum-
win.
the momentum would have shifted back to Clemson. So
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, and I think even if that would have happened, Clemson would have found a way. I mean, you saw the
Yeah.
way Alabama crawled back into it and shifted momentum so much in that second half, and LSU still found a way to win. And I think that's exactly what they would have done against Clemson as well.
Well, this season LSU has beat. This is what they were ranked at the time they beat them. So LSU beat the number 2 team in the nation, number 4 team, number 6 team, number 7 team, number 8 team, number 14 team, number 25 team, and then the number 3 team last night. That's pretty impressive.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think that's the best argument because a lot of people have been saying, is this the greatest football season we've seen of a team? I think that's the strongest argument I've seen for that.
I think they have the strongest
Hey.
resume, but I wouldn't necessarily say that it is. I wouldn't.
Now, I'm not.
necessarily
Yeah,
agree.
I'm not
Better-
saying they're the
they
greatest
have the
team of
best
all time.
resume.
I'm just saying I think they had the greatest season,
Yeah.
not the best team though.
And it's funny to think too that Joel Klatt and Colin Cowherd
Yeah.
were talking about Ohio State being the greatest team ever when they hadn't even played Michigan yet,
Yeah.
and
They would've finished
crazy
third.
things like that. Yeah,
Speaking of greatest ever, and during halftime they did the 11 greatest players of all time. ESPN ranked them. Not one player from the last 30 years.
Yeah. That was. I don't
Yeah,
know
which
who
is pretty
made that
crazy.
list, but
Most Heisman winners from the last 30 years would school almost anybody on that list except for Bo Jackson, Herschel Walker, and who was the other person I said?
Oh, now they had
Barry
oh,
Sanders. Yeah.
They had Barry Sanders. Now they of course had Griffin from Ohio State who won 2 Heismans. He was great. You had Earl Campbell from
No,
Was
Texas.
there-
Earl
who
Campbell
won.
on that list?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
No, there are all the guys on that list are great players, historic players. But it's crazy to say
There
that
was
somebody
2
from the
guys
last
on
30
there.
years shouldn't be on that list.
There was 2 guys on the list I've never even heard of.
yeah. Now you had Roger Staubach, which I understand him being on there, but of course I guess I understand Jim Thorpe just with what he did. But yeah, I
90%
understand what
of the
you're.
list was correct, but the
Yeah.
parts that they missed.
I mean, you're not gonna
Wildly.
put Lamar Jackson on there. You're not gonna put Tim Tebow on
No.
there. You're like,
No.
why not? I mean, those guys are, whatever. But it's the guys that
I
voted
wouldn't
for it.
put
They
Lamar
grew up
Jackson
watching
on
a lot
there.
of those guys. So
Yeah, I wouldn't put Lamar Jackson on there.
I don't think he would make my 11 list, but to not bring
No.
his name up would be because he didn't have the team to go with him.
yeah,
What he did at Louisville was crazy. But yeah, that was only one like really outstanding season though. So
we can all agree Tebow
Yeah.
should be on that list.
I think Tebow should be on the list. What he won a national championship,
guess.
he lost a national championship, and he was a 3-time Heisman finalist and won a Heisman. I believe all that's correct. Could be wrong, but that's crazy. I'm pretty sure he's the only 3-time Heisman finalist.
I don't know. I'd have to look
Yeah,
that.
I don't
I'd have to
know.
research that. But I have a question for you guys. Who do you credit this national championship to more, Ed Orgeron or Joe Brady?
Joe Brady.
Ed Orgeron, because without Ed Orgeron, there is no Joe Brady.
Yeah, that's and
Well, you
obviously
could
he
say
made
that.
the hire,
Yeah.
but
He's the one who noticed the change that needed to be made and went out and hired him, and he's the one
Yeah,
who
so credit
everybody
got Joe
credit him
Burrow
for
in the
that.
first place, even
Well,
though it was a year before.
everybody knew the change needed to be made, but he did make
Yeah.
the right hire, and he convinced Joe Brady to come. And also, the strongest point for me for Ed Orgeron is he recruited all those guys out there.
Yeah.
Hey, but Joe Brady's with the Carolina Panthers now, baby.
Did he go?
Yeah.
No way.
He's
Did he
going to
really?
the Panthers. Yeah. Did you not know that?
No.
I heard the
Yeah.
rumors, but I didn't hear that it was official.
It is official.
Oh wow, yeah. They're reportedly leaving LSU to join Panthers. Thank you for bringing that up because apparently this broke 3 hours ago. I've been doing some homework and stuff, so I didn't see that.
Yeah, big news for the Panthers, baby.
Big news
But
for the
also
SEC
bad-
because LSU is about to become way less of a powerhouse.
Yeah.
again.
But bad. I don't know if y'all heard this either. You know, Luke Kuechly for the Panthers also retired. One of the best linebackers to ever play
I didn't
these
know
past
he
few
retired
seasons.
Hmm.
Yep.
Justin's bringing all the
He
news
was-
today.
He was only 28.
He's only 28.
Yep. And he's led the league in so many defensive stats the past 6 years. He's been incredible. But the reason he retired is he's had so many concussions, so I can't blame him for that.
Well, I've got some going back to the national championship. I've got some pretty cool stats I found online here. So, of course, we saw that Burrow broke the FBS single season record with 60 touchdown passes yesterday. That's more than Utah, TCU, Nebraska, and South Carolina had all season combined. Burrow's
Read those teams again.
that would be Utah, TCU, Nebraska, and South Carolina. Did not have.
Sounds like
combined.
all of them sucked except for one, and they were extremely overrated. I just wanted to point that out. Any chance I get.
Yeah, but 4 teams couldn't put together as many touchdown passes as one guy. Burrow's 14 touchdowns in the college football playoff are more than the Big Ten and Pac-12 have in college football playoff history. So he had 14. Big Ten has 13. Pac-12 has 11.
You got to think about he had, 15, 16 total touchdowns because he had a couple rushing touchdowns in there too, like 900 passing yards.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy what he did.
Burrow accounted for more touchdowns in 2 playoff games than Trevor Lawrence did in 4.
Jeez.
That's not passing. That's just accounted for more touchdowns.
Yep.
And then, so I saw all those. I thought those were pretty interesting. But and my next question is, after getting embarrassed, just like how they embarrassed Alabama last year, do you guys think that the Dabo disrespect BS thing he's been doing all season revs up from here or dies down?
It'll probably stay just the same, just as annoying as ever. So he's gonna say, "Well, since we lost, now nobody respects us again."
Back on the Roy bus.
Yeah.
Yep. But I won't be surprised to see him back there again next season.
Oh no, they're
everybody
literally
coming
getting
back.
their whole team back just about. So
Yeah. So.
they're easily the favorite to win it all next year.
Oh yeah.
Should be.
They should win it.
They literally play no one. So,
How do you guys think this game would have turned out if it was last year's Clemson team versus this year's LSU team?
I don't know. It would have been a good game. It would have been a better game.
Touchdown closer, but I still see LSU winning.
I agree. I think
Yeah.
LSU wins it, but I think it'd be a little more exciting matchup.
Yeah.
I say that just because of the defensive line.
Oh yeah.
And then my last question for you guys: if Alabama doesn't win it all next year, is the dynasty truly dead at that point?
Depends on
What
if
happens?
they make it to the playoff. If they make it to the playoff, no.
Yeah.
Okay. So if they don't
Yeah,
make
if
it to the
they don't-
playoff, so they go 10
if
and 2
they-
and don't make it to the playoff again, it's dead.
I mean, not if they win it the year after.
I
'Cause
I
then
think
it
if they
extends,
go,
like
Yeah.
two lost seasons back to back, those.
it's rare for
Saban's
Alabama.
Saban's never missed it more than 3 seasons. So the max he did was
Yeah.
2013 and 2014. He didn't win it either of those years, but he won it in 2015.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see how Alabama does next year without Tua.
Yeah, I think if they go 9-3, I'd be a little worried.
Yeah. So I just want to read y'all the next year's schedules for Clemson and LSU, and then we can make some predictions of where these guys are going. Now, Clemson's schedule, according to this website, a lot of the dates haven't been determined for the ACC games, so the games I'm reading for them are not necessarily in order. But these are the teams they're going to play. Akron, Notre Dame,
Tough.
at Notre Dame, the Citadel, South Carolina
Tough.
at home, Boston
Tough.
College, Louisville, NC State, Syracuse,
Tough.
Virginia, Florida State,
Oh,
Wake Forest, Georgia Tech.
tough.
Is there a chance they drop? I mean, a realistic
Man.
chance they drop any of those games?
No.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame's the only one that I
That's-
think maybe there's.
but those are still-
I think they got
That's
a better
still
chance
low.
of whipping Notre Dame than they do losing.
Yeah,
somebody
they-
else.
The only
I would
thing,
agree with that.
That one comes at a kind of a weird time. It's that first week in November, though. So it's maybe it's one that they could drop.
Yeah.
Notre Dame will be experienced by then, but I don't expect. I fully expect Clemson to go undefeated again in the regular season next year.
Yeah.
Do they not play North Carolina next year?
No,
Interesting.
according to this
That was the
website,
toughest
anyway.
opponent.
I was about to say that'd be funny if they beat them next year.
Then LSU start out with UTSA, then Texas at Tiger Stadium. Rice, they play Rice, Ole Miss, the Nichols Colonels.
What?
Yeah, never heard of them. They play at Florida,
Ooh,
at
tough.
Arkansas.
That might. Okay, at Florida, L.
Yeah, that'll be a good game. At Arkansas, Mississippi State at home, Alabama at home.
So
It's good.
sorry about that.
Aaron just knocked his foot off on the table. South Carolina at home, at Auburn, and then at Texas A&M to close out the season. How many, if any, do you think LSU drops next year?
I could see 2 or 3.
I was thinking 3. I was thinking Florida,
Yeah.
Alabama, and then a toss-up between Texas A&M. I'm sorry. No, I was going to say Florida, Alabama, and then a toss-up between Texas A&M and Auburn.
Yeah.
I could see
That's
him
what I
losing
would say.
4, honestly, because then there's a toss-up
heck.
between Mississippi State and Texas, too.
I could see him losing to
well-
Texas early in the because it's early in the season.
Sam Ellinger's back.
Is he?
No, he's a senior.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's gone.
Yeah.
But
No, I thought he was coming back.
No, he is coming. Yeah, he's coming back.
No.
Yeah, he's coming back.
He's
He made me
coming
doubt
back,
myself. Because he put that stupid video on Twitter where he's like,
Oh yeah.
"Yeah, I'm coming back." And
Well,
everybody's
he's
like, "Well,
been
what
there
else
for
was he gonna do?"
7.5 years.
Yeah, it feels like he should
Anyways,
be gone.
but yeah, I could, especially with him coming back, then I could see them losing to them because if anybody forgot, Texas was one catch away from beating them this year. He
Yeah.
dropped it in the end zone like a
That's
idiot.
true.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
Sam Ellinger. A
Hey, I could-
receiver. Don't remember who it was.
I could see LSU lose.
That's the only
back
reason
to back.
Texas went and just sucked is because they got
Yeah.
embarrassed there and slipped up one other game.
Slipped up to Oklahoma.
Yeah,
and they
after
gave up.
Oklahoma, then there was like, there's no point.
I could see. I mean, it's tough going at Auburn than at A&M. I could see back-to-back losses right
Yeah,
there too.
I
With the
could-
completely
Yeah.
new scheme. I
Or
mean,
if
they're
they
gonna
pull
have
it
to
off
hire
at
him.
Auburn, I think they lose to A&M.
Yeah.
With Joe Brady gone, yeah, I can see him losing easily 3 games and then possibly more. If they were to lose 3 or 4 games,
If they lose to Texas early, then I think they'd lose the rest of the games we talked about, and they just have a terrible season and start over.
is Orgeron on the hot seat if they lose 4 games? 'Cause
No.
No.
y'all say
He's
no,
there for-
but this is
He's
still,
there for life.
if they have a bad year next year, so much of that will go to Joe Brady credit wise, just
Yeah.
like how it did from Gene Chizik to Gus
Yeah,
Malzahn.
for people who don't
Yeah.
know anything,
Well, people that don't know anything run a lot of these programs,
that's what I'm saying.
so he could be on the hot
Yeah.
seat.
I don't think he'll be on the hot
But
seat. Though.
after this though, the way people doubted him, and he should. I mean, can you imagine a perfect fit for LSU? You know,
No,
you think
I'm a
of-
huge
You think
Coach O
Ed
fan.
O.
If I was a elite athlete and I could go to any D1 college and play for any guy, I'm playing for Ed Orgeron. It's the most
Yeah.
fun program right now there is. I'm just saying, I think that his seat can get hotter than what people realize.
Not in 1 year.
Yeah.
It can get uncomfortable.
Not after the. No, it's not.
Okay, well, hopefully we don't have to find out because I want Ed Orgeron to stick around. I really like that personality in the SEC.
He's there for life.
I'd love it.
They might as well. They're going to give him a life contract.
They won't, but I wish they would. I love him. And I think he's a good coach. I really do. I'm not trying to take anything away from him at all. I'm just saying. I think that it's cutthroat in the SEC, unless you're Gus Malzahn in Auburn.
Yeah, then he stays there forever with, being a average coach. If Gus was at LSU, heck, even Mississippi State fires their coach after 2 seasons. If he was at Mississippi State, they would have already fired him by now. I mean, it's crazy things like that.
Well, really quickly, I want to go over our score predictions we had to close out the episode. So, Justin, you had 35-34 Clemson.
Yep.
I had 31-24 LSU. Aaron had 34-27 LSU. So, Aaron, I think you're closest. It's between me and you. Doesn't matter. Neither of us.
Hey.
Me and
Aaron
was going to be 42-25.
Yeah, me and Aaron both had LSU at 34. So, I mean, we were.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think that's the episode. Do you guys have any closing remarks about this national championship game?
Not really, other than SEC bias is not a thing. Once again, we're back in it.
Yeah.
No, I was going to mention that with a tweet, but I don't have it. Well, I can't find where I screenshotted it. But it was just talking about the SEC ruling, and it was a pretty fun stat, and I can't find it now.
You can find it for Twitter news on Saturday.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw the stat, though, for the SEC West, where it was like Auburn won the Natty
it was
10.
SEC West.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alabama won in 11, 12. Auburn runner-up 13. Alabama lost in semis 14. Alabama wins 15.
Yeah, so in 2007, LSU won
16.
it. 2008, it's Florida. They're SEC, even though they're not in the West. And then 2009, Alabama. 2010, Auburn. 2011, Alabama. 2012, Alabama. 2013 was Auburn in it, and they lost to Florida State, but they were in it. 2014, Alabama lost to Ohio State in the semis, which won it, which is the worst thing that's happened is for an SEC West team is they lost in the semis.
Yeah.
And then Alabama won it in 15. Alabama lost to Clemson in it in 16. Alabama won it in 17. Alabama lost it in 18, and LSU won it in 19. That's insane.
Yeah, so Aaron Suttles is who I saw post that, and it was he put the SEC West since 2010. He said all those things Aaron just said, and then he said the SEC West don't play, son, and that was retweeted by at a David Hale Joint. It said ACC Atlantic since 2013. 2013 FSU won Natty. 2014 FSU loses in semis. 2015 Clemson runner up. 2016 Clemson Natty. 2017 Clemson loses in semi. 2018 Clemson Natty. 2019 Clemson runner up. And then where Aaron Suttles said SEC West don't play, son. This guy said ACC Atlantic kind of does play, but couple really good teams, and also NC State says hi. I thought that was funny. But
that's only even 2013, and this goes
2010, and it's multiple teams.
This goes all the way back. I mean, if you're going all the way back to 2006 with Florida, even if you cut Florida off because they're not in the West, then it goes back to 07. Oh, and then Florida in 08, but still, so Florida's in there twice. But even then, it's still an SEC team. It's just not the...
Yeah, not the West.
Yeah, I think it's funny Georgia's not on there yet. It's so funny.
Well, they were runner-up.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Whatever.
Well, they were.
It don't count because...
Well, Alabama's runner-up on there multiple times.
Yeah, but it was the same... It was the division that won it, so don't count.
Anyways, I think that's the show, guys. Any last words, as Justin says now, for some reason. Threatening.
Last words. It was a fun football season. I was glad to see a team other than Alabama in the national championship. glad to see LSU win it because my mom's side of the family are LSU fans, born in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, it's a shame you went all the way to Baton Rouge and couldn't see that game.
Yeah, I know. So I'm happy for them. But yeah, I hope for. I think I saw on the odds list. I was surprised to see Auburn was like in the top 5 with the best odds to win next year, and I was like, okay.
Didn't see that.
Yeah, it was like they're 20-1, which is like the 5th best odds. So yeah, we'll see about that. But yeah, I hope for a good season next year for Auburn.
Aaron?
Adios.
All right, we will see you guys Sunday, bright and early, with the TG Emmys. I'm so excited for this. I really am. We got some great awards coming up, so some absolutely ridiculous ones. So be sure to tune in to that. And yeah, we'll see you then.
Peace.
No War Eagle anyway? No, I'll say it for him. No War Eagle anyway.
No.
No War Eagle anyway.
Oh, gosh.